Hi guys, in this video I'll be working on the Zephyria RPG to improve some of its elements. At the moment we have this map, which is a bit of a progress since last time I talked about this, which was probably about 2 years ago. So the architecture is there now for me to build new content, new levels, and so on. There are a few bugs to fix, and the UI is kind of missing. So there are a bunch of things that need to be done, but at least the architecture is there to support it. So I'll just see what I can do today in about 40 minutes, shall we say. So one of the first things what I wanted to do was I think related to combat. So currently, if I pick a fight with somebody, I'm going to lose, which is not cool. So let's try and adjust some of the values for our character, the monsters, and then see if we can get a balance. So all of the characters that we can currently have are all here, and this is defined using Kotlin DSL, which is something I talked about in the community section on YouTube, and it's really nice because you can pretty much use almost like natural language level. You can just say it has strength 5, and you know, it's not even code anymore at this point. Let's go with, so first of all, at the start, because this is the very first level, I want all monsters on that map to have level 1. Skeleton, mage. I'll keep this guy level 2 for now, and then we'll see how that goes. So yeah, just to give a bit of context, in terms of attributes, you have 9 of them. You have strength, vitality, dexterity, agility, intellect, wisdom, willpower, perception, and luck. And I'm mostly interested in vitality, I guess, because I want to be able to hit them and kill the monsters, ideally, because that's level 1, so I want to be able to defeat them. Let's try 10. I think I set it to 30 for testing purposes. Let's give vitality 10. Strength is 3. And experience, I don't even have any relative context to this. I don't know how much this actually is. Let's check. What am I looking for? Player component? Yeah, so this is how much experience is needed in order to progress our base level. There are 3 types of levels. We have base, stat, and job. Base increases your health and mana, and that's about it, I think. Stat is what you can use to increase. Base may also increase attributes, actually. I can't remember anymore. But stat is going to allow you to increase your stat points. Is that right? And then job is where your skill points are earned. So let's go for experience need for level 2. There we go. That's what I need. So we need 10 experience. And if I kill this thing, I get 10 experience immediately. No, I don't want that. I want 3 and then warrior 3 as well, and then skeleton mage, because mage is level 2. Let's make it 5, maybe. So I need to kill 4 warriors or archers in order to get to level 2, which is fine, because I'm planning like 100+ levels, so I'm assuming it's okay to not have many things to kill to get a level, at least level 2. That's the base one. Stat and job I'm not too worried about at this moment. How about we check the player values? Player attributes are probably at 1. There is some UI code that I had. Just restore this and see what we can. Current UI code is mostly for debugging purposes. You'll see that it's a bit clunky right now. So that's supposed to be your hotbar. Let's get rid of that. Inventory and stuff, not interested. This is what I'm interested in. So at the start, okay, so all the values are 0, which kind of explains why the player character is quite vulnerable to enemy attacks. Now what I want to do is 1, 2, so we have 9 of these things, and what if at the start we give 10 attribute points to the player? And then if we go strength 3, vitality 3, let's try which one was this? So this is archer. Yeah, let's go for an archer. That's an archer. So I'm dealing 3, and this guy is dealing 1, which is good. But oh, I'm regenning. My health regenerates faster than this guy can deal damage, which is good. And then I'm dealing 3 damage. It's going to be a long fight. I think regeneration is just too powerful, because it regenerates 1 point per second, and the attack speeds are really low. So what if I go 5 strength? He's almost dead. There we go. And then I get an equal amount of experience for all of the level types. And if we continue this, oh yeah, of course, because we also don't have any weapons equipped. And that's actually good, because I'm planning to give some super basic stuff at the start. I don't even know if this is going to be the starting level. This is kind of just a map that was put together for testing purposes. But suppose we have this super basic knife, and neutral element, damage 15. You can see our attack damage here. And then let's try to kill one of those guys again. I need to fix movement when ordering an attack, because I don't want them to be on the same tile. I also want the animation to play correctly with respect to the direction in which I'm attacking. So that was faster, which is good. Let's try one more time. So probably the damage dealt to the player should be different color, so it's easier to identify how much damage you're dealing versus how much damage they're dealing. And as we correctly calculated, we need 4 of these things in order to get to level 2. Okay, cool. So go to level 2. It says attribute level. So yeah, I guess that stat thing should really be renamed to attribute level. Right, so this tells us that if we get a knife early on, and we allow the player 10 attribute points at the start of the game at level 1, and then as they progress they're going to have more of these. Then we can start dealing some damage. Well, literally. That was Archer. So Archers are supposed to be less bulky than Warriors. Let's see if I can withstand against this guy. So let's go here, and well, these are skill points. Well, I don't have any skills implemented anyway, so I'll keep that as 0. And this actually should go to config somewhere, so I can keep track of these things. And number of what? Attributes at level 1. 10? No, 10 is too much, I think. How about 3 actually? Because that's how many attribute points you get per level anyway. So consistency. Attribute points per level, and I'll just rename this to the points at level 1. There we go. And we can adjust this as needed later on. Yep, cool. And just let's do that. So we have 3 attribute points at the start of the game. I'll just disable some menu bits. Hotbar view I don't need. Equipment, inventory, I may need these things. I also probably want them a bit smaller because the UI seems to occupy quite a bit of space. Yeah, if you move all these things one place, you're occupying almost, what, 20% of the screen? Yeah, there's some stuff I can just remove and save some space. Right, so we have 3 points. Now, if I spend all these 3 points, let's see if I don't spend them at all, I can still survive. Based on the assumption that first-time player may spend them on a different attribute. Let's go for the easy skeleton archer. I almost died, but I didn't. And based on the fact that most of the combat mechanics are based on formulae rather than random values, that should be the outcome of every encounter, or more or less. There is some randomness involved. Just got lucky there. Yeah, so I think we need to give the player a bit of a margin there. And that potentially means decreasing the values of the monster. Vitality 10 is probably a bit too much. Plus, I think Vitality works as a flat damage reduction. Possibly. I don't even know where attack combat code is. Attack. Deal physical. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I need. Defense is the flat damage reduction, which is affected by vitality. Yeah, it increases defense, which is increased here somewhere. Defense is increased by vitality, 0.5 per single point of vitality, and then by a bunch of other things as well. So yeah, this is reasonably high, I suppose, and so we want to bring this thing down. Like really down. So archer, let's give the archer more dexterity and agility, and then warrior will have less of that, but more of these things. Right, so let's just move this here. I whip my knife, and let's try the archer again, because I don't want to. How did it get there? That's odd. $14, and still doing 14. I thought I should be doing more. No, that's still too close. What if I set it to 0? Is that going to do anything? Knife equipped, and let's attack this guy. Still 14. Don't know why. Are these even applied? It could be that these aren't even applied to the monster thing. Yep, that would be why. So it takes the data in, but it doesn't actually do anything with it, which is not good. This is something I need to fix. Attributes. Where do I get the attributes thing from? Oh, it's defined here. Okay. Data attributes. Well, just to be sure that it's not being initialized somewhere else, this will be added. This will be called line stats. After everything is initialized, let's just print attributes, get total attribute for vitality. It's 0 for every person, which is fine because that means it's not being initialized at all. And I can fix that, I hope. It's really just doing this 9 times. I wonder if I want to have some kind of a debug UI that I can just click, say on a monster, and it gives me its stats. That would be really useful. Something like basic info, but for a generic thing. UI for monsters to see stats, attributes, and stats. Right, so let's just do this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What's the order here? Dexterity. Agility. Intellect, wisdom. Okay, and that should print total vitality of the monster. It should be different. Yeah, so it's 0 for the archer, and then it should be something different. It's 5 for skeleton warrior. 0 and 5. Yeah, so this time it's going to be taken into account, but since it was calculated using 0 anyway, I haven't changed. Well, I made the warrior stronger, so it's not going to be 14 now if I attack this guy. What's happening here? Why can't I attack this guy? Oh, it's because this thing is in the way. So I'm doing 12 and he's doing 6. So he's going to kill me. Yeah, don't want that. So how do I... That sounds like there is a disadvantage in the formula that is used to calculate damage. Basically, the formula is unbalanced. Where is... Yeah. So this is armor. They're not wearing any armor. So that's 0. So I'm dealing 100% of the damage. But that thing, it's really that thing that gives a lot of defense value. So let's see how that's calculated. It's here. Let's just print that. Stats get total stat for defense. Even that is 0. Well, yeah, actually, that would make sense, since I've got a knife that deals 15 base damage. And yeah, so I can't deal more than that. So that is actually justified. I'm dealing 14 damage. Okay, so what does that mean? I need more powerful items at the start. Or I could reduce the damage output from the monster. If I say it has no strength, it has no dexterity, and no agility, then its damage output is going to be smaller, because its attack is going to be almost 0. Strength, dexterity, perception, luck, and level. Level is 1, so it's not going to do much damage. So equip this, and then attack this character. Three is better. So every time at level 1 I hit an archer, it'll deal some damage, but it's fine because it'll be healed up. Let's see if I can defeat a warrior. Yeah, the warrior is still doing a lot of damage. So if I use the same principle and reduce that all the way down, 2, and then 1, 1, and then let's add a bit more. Yeah, I'll keep them at 0. Let's try that. $14 and 4 again. Yeah, so I need to reduce dexterity or something. What about warrior now? Oh, I got killed because I had very little health. Let's try this time. 14 and 4. But warrior has a bit more health. But at least I can defeat him now. So that means this has to go pretty much all the way down. I suppose that would make sense because these are all level 1 characters. Yeah, basically just don't do anything. Is it 0 by default? No, so it has some things. Should it be 0 by default? And then my player, where's my player? Factory. So the player is going to have 1 of each attribute at the start. By default, characters, monsters are going to have 0, so I don't need to set them to 0. And then that would give a bit of an edge to the player. And that would make sense for Archer to have Dexterity 1, and for Warrior to have Strength and Vitality 1. And then that means these are way too high. Right, that's good. I'm kind of learning the scale here in terms of attributes and balanced combat. So if I equip my trusty knife and go against the warrior, 14-3, that's better. That means I'm going to win this battle. Yeah. Well, if I don't unclick it. Yeah, let's just try again to make sure. Skeleton warrior. Yeah. And then just generate back to 12 and then try to attack this guy. 14-3. Yeah, that's good. Plus, I'm thinking to have at least some kind of usable items at the start to give the player some usable items, really. But at least I've covered the worst case scenario, so the player doesn't do anything with the attributes and just well, they will have to equip the knife, otherwise they're not going to deal much damage. So if I unequip this and try to attack, it's not looking good. Just quickly kill this guy. Nice. So you can see the 68 damage is because they've got the combat mechanics is also based on elements. And one of the things I equipped is elemental weapon. Yeah, so these are basically all knives with the same characteristics apart from the element. And fire deals double damage to earth characters, and then a warrior is an earth character. Right, so I've got some attribute points to spend. I guess I could go something like luck. And let's get rid of that. Tag. That was odd. Were they criticals? 38 damage? That seems a lot. What happened there? No, that was critical. 88. How am I still dealing that much damage? That's more like it. So it appears that there is a bug related to weapon switching. So if when I equip the elemental weapon, it remembered that element on the weapon. That needs to be written down somewhere. Where would that be? Equip? Nope. Possibly player component. Equip weapon. So I'm guessing this is called when I click on the thing. Yeah, from the inventory view, this is the thing that gets called equip weapon, which is going to set the element of the weapon. Yeah, that's fine. How do I unequip things? That's in the equipment view, right? So if I click on something, then that calls unequip, which does not reset weapon element. So if item is weapon, no, if place is weapon, so this gets called, if it is weapon, then because this is unequipped, so I'm not going to have any weapon, which means the weapon element should be reset. Player weapon element value. Hands element value. Yeah, that's fine. I'm guessing similar things going to happen with armor. So I'm just going to leave a to do check that armor unequip updates armor element. Let's try that again. So equip the neutral one, equip the fire one. Fire deals damage against earth. Kill this guy quickly. Unequip fire, and that should have returned the weapon element back to neutral, which is problematic if I had a different one-handed weapon with an element. Well, at least let's check this works, and then we'll try the other. Yeah, so I'm dealing normal damage now. Yep, that's good. Okay, so should not really be doing this because I still need to know if the thing that I unequipped was a two-handed or one-handed weapon. Hands have neutral elements, so I'll just do neutral here. If it is two-handed, then we've removed the weapon from both of the slots, so we know that this is true. If it is not two-handed, that means I just had a thought about having two elemental weapons. Which one do we use? I think that's more of a design question. Which I'm going to leave here. If two weapons are both elemental, which element do we use? That's for later, but at least now I know how to fix the thing. I need to set the element of the other weapon that I may have equipped. So if the place I'm unequipping from is right hand, then get equipment from left hand, which returns an item. Left hand item. And then use its element, else use right hand item element. The other weapon. Okay, problem solved. There's still the design issue, which is which element to use, but that's for later. So if I equip fire and then I equip earth, currently because of the design issue it's going to deal earth damage because it is the thing that I equip last, which is good. If I unequip it, I should deal fire damage. Which I'm not dealing because it's still 0. Oh, yeah. Copy paste error. So if the place I'm unequipping from is right hand, use the left hand's element. and if it's just empty hands, which is fine because empty hands have neutral element, and else that would be the left hand I've used to unequipped, therefore use right hand's element. So that should do it now. So equip fire, equip earth, try attacking, that should be 0-ish damage, then unequip earth and just obliterate this guy. Well, almost. Yeah, that's great. So we got our elements sorted. Apart from that interesting design issue, which is what element to use, that's something I'll have to think about. Right, so at least we now have some kind of combat mechanic going for us. Let's go with let's restart and then try and see how a player would perform in these conditions. So they could kill one monster, they would regenerate back to full health, try to kill another one, and of course we're not going to have so many monsters in one place. That's because the map is not properly nav meshed. I call it nav mesh, but it's in 2D I don't think it's called nav mesh. And nav paths. So archer down, got 0 gold for that. Let's try to kill one of the warrior guys. At full health, I should be able to take him down. Okay, level up. I can now spend my attribute points. Let's go for the strength, a bit of vitality, and dexterity. And the player would then continue their game on this map. So we're now dealing considerably more damage and getting being hit for less damage, which is good. They're dealing 1 damage and the regeneration is 1 point per second, so that's fine. They're dead. Let's go further, explore a bit more of the map. So that will just destroy this guy. Let's try that. Hey, where'd you go? Let's go for luck, because I like criticals. There's a 2% chance that I'm going to deal a critical attack. I'm going to perform a critical attack. But it can still happen. And if it does happen, then the damage I'm going to deal is twice as much. And then as you increase your luck, this damage also goes up. And you can see that there's some randomness involved in the damage output. And as your level goes up, your stats go up. There'll be significant amount of difference between values. So leveling up is now really difficult. But that's fine, because that's supposed to be how the players play on this map anyway. I don't want them to hit level 10, for example. Oh yeah, I forgot, because base is not related to this, it's the attribute level. Yeah, I just got confused by the mechanic that I implemented. Because we have different types of levels. Let's increase the chance. I now have 3% chance to deal critical damage. Yeah, 38 damage. That was nice. I don't actually know how much health these guys have. 20, 20, it sounds like about 60. And I've got 34. But that's fine because they're dealing that much less damage. Right, so that seems fine. It seems like the player can progress reasonably well on this map. Oh yeah, the navigation thing isn't fully... I didn't really talk about this, but the level is done is in tile map, which you probably guessed, which is here. And then you can see that these boxes define the walkable areas, which are then turned by FXGL automatically into A-star cells. Using A-star pathfinding, I can then walk on these cells. It just figures out the path automatically. But that's for another video. And I'm just hit level 5 for attributes if I can. This is getting tougher. Oh yeah, this little thingy, which is relates to Z indexing, because these are tiled on different layers. The decoration above and below player, it creates a really nice effect. So you're above that tree, but you're below this tree. You know, we got some company here, because most of the nav paths are here, they're clustered. Plus I made them made AI to only wander around the same area they spawned in. Okay, so that's cool. So it seems like they can get up to level maybe, I don't know, 5, 6, something like that, for base level. And then we can probably start moving to another area. I got level 5 for attributes. I can increase this further, get 5% chance. 5% is actually quite a lot. There is a chance that I can deal double damage. Right, so this seems like reasonable success, although I didn't quite set out the objectives for this video. But on this note, I would like to finish this we're calling this DevStream, and feel free to suggest any improvements that you can think of. If you're good at level design, send me an email, because I need a really good map that I can test my stuff on. And I'll see if I add more stuff in future videos. Thanks for watching.